Hey YouTube, this is Dual Stroll here. I'm starting a new series called Tech Talk, where I will be talking about some certain cards in the meta and all that kind of business. Um, I'll leave more in the description down below. I'll leave some links for certain cards and things such as I'd like to talk about Arts Lord Kristya. As many of you know, many people are playing agents nowadays, so this card is very, very, very popular in the meta. If you don't know what it does, when you have exactly 4 fairy in your graveyard, special summon this, add a card from your add a fairy type monster from your graveyard, and while this is on the field, neither playing a special summon. Now, what this means is, once this hits the field, it's incredibly hard to get rid of. Incredibly. Now, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks to get around Kristya. Not only to get around, maybe to kill it off, maybe to make sure your opponent doesn't drop it again. So, first up, one of the cards that some decks will tech to get rid of it, Book of Moon. Now, what Book of Moon will do is it'll flip the Kristya down, leaving you open to special summon, leaving you open to all that kind of business. So if you're playing agents and you get a Kristya in your face, you can Book of Moon, drop Hyperion, and run over it. Knowing that it has 23 defense, most decks can synchro or exceed for something big and punch over it, and it won't go back to the top of the deck. Now here's the problem with those strategies. Kristya will still be in the graveyard, and people can Monster Reborn it, Call Haunted it. That's bad. That's very bad. So there's that risk. This is one of the reasons why this card is over centralized in meta. Once it's in the graveyard, it still is a threat. So another card that people should tech is Bottomless. Not Warning, but Bottomless, because this thing can still be Monster Reborn if you warning it. But if you drop the Bottomless when they special summon this will go away instantly. It'll leave, and they have almost no way. Most players won't have a way to bring it back. So it leaves you open for anything you want, basically. Now, Kristya, of course, most of the time, if they drop it, they'll have something, or they'll try to have baited out the Bottomlesses. That's bad. This is why you save things like this for a card like this once you know that they're playing it. Warning is different from this. People would like to play Warning over Bottomless, but they don't do the same thing. Warning will negate the summon. This will get rid of the monster. It'll negate the summon, send it to the graveyard, and a card like this is still special summonable. Now Synchros won't be, but this card will, which is where Bottomless is, frankly, in my opinion, and people are going to jump all over me for this one, better than Warning, because it gets rid of cards like these, cards like Hyperion that could be reborn, all that kind of thing. So another tech card, or side deck card more likely, to get through Kristya, so Kaiko, the Ghost Destroyer. Not many people use this, but what it basically does is when you have it on the field, no player can remove from play any cards from their graveyard, and when this does that battle damage, you remove cards from your opponent's graveyard, 2 of them. What this essentially does is stops the Kristya flow to make sure that you have your opponent on lock. It stops also Hyperion, which is where this card is ran. So basically you have the Kaiko, you punch, you remove, you stop your opponent from special summoning Kristya because they don't have 4 fairies in the graveyard, and you continue the loop while your opponent manages to try to get rid of this. They can't Hyperion it unless they have to neg themselves once from their hand. So basically, they have to have the Hyperion and a Venus or an Earth in the hand, ditch it, special summon, and punch over you, in which case you have, backup, obviously. So this isn't going to go away soon, and it poses a huge threat to agents. So I don't understand why people don't side deck this more. Kaiko is amazing. Frankly, it's also 1800. It gets over most of agents' monsters, frankly. So Kaiko is really good for trying to get around Kristya. Once it's on the field, though, this card is useless. But this card is more used to stop it from getting out. This card is to stop it once it's summoned. This card is to stop it once it's hit the field already. Smashing Ground is another card that is good for, getting rid of Kristya, as it does have 23 defense, highest defense in the deck, I believe. But, again, sends it to the graveyard, and frankly, it's Monster Rebornable, so another good card for getting around Kristya is Skill Drain. Skill Drain, once you activate it, your opponent's Kristya just sits on as a 28 beat stick. Now, comboing Skill Drain with a card like Beast King Barbaros has amazing potential for this. Barbaros is dropped with Skill Drain on the field, where your opponent has a Kristya. You drop Barbaros, activate Skill Drain. Once you punch Kristya, and this goes away. Now, if your opponent has Honest in hand, you're frankly not do so well. But another card that will stop it once it comes out is Doom Caliber Knight. While this card's on the field, if your opponent tries to drop Kristya, they are forced to add a card from their graveyard to their hand, tribute to negate, and the Kristya is gone for at least one turn, in which case you can, take some momentum in, and they'll have to, again, pick up and drop it. So if you're doing the Doom Cali thing, you need to sort of have an out to when this comes back on the field. So, obviously you won't have Doom Cali, you have Doom Cali and like 900 back row sets. But the point is, you need to have something for Kristya, this format. So those are my suggestions, about Kristya, getting rid of Kristya. Leave a comment on what you think is good for getting around Kristya. Again, you can say Solemn Warning, but I personally don't think 2,000 life points is good enough to negate the summon just for them to Monster Reborn or Call of the Haunted it. I will be posting my agent build, my second version. I tweaked it a little. I like my new version. So, rate, comment, subscribe, do all the wonderful things that you guys, YouTubers, do. Please comment on what you think is a good tech against Kristya. Smashing Ground is another good one. Shrink, for if you play that, can get you over Kristya. So, yeah. Leave the comment and have a good night, y'all.